everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Cynthia, and today we're going to be creating some happy mail. If you're anything like me, I really struggle with happy mail. I feel often like I'm no good at it, and I find it hard to make everything feel cohesive. So for this month, for my design team project for Ruby and Perlexo, I wanted to show you how you can use a digital kit to really help you create a whole happy mail that's super cohesive. So here I'm showing you a little happy mail bundle that I've created. I created this one with the Belle Collection, and I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing using any other digital kits. You can also obviously mix match, but if you're struggling like I am, the perks of using one kit is that you know already that all these things go well together. So I'm just showing you the different little elements that I created here, and we're going to create a couple together. And this time I'm going to be using one of the newer Christmas kits that Heather has in her shop, which is the Silent Christmas digital kit. So I just created, some little envelopes. I created some journaling cards, and just very simple elements that you can recreate very easily, and in that way, create a happy mail just very easily. I love this digital kit so much. The La Belle Collection to me is just it speaks to me. I always feel so inspired by it. I have a bit of a new setup for when I'm filming, so I'm sorry if sometimes I'm not fully in frame. I'm working on that. So here I'm showing you the Silent Night, I believe, or yeah, that digital kit I just mentioned. And I pre-cut all the smaller elements that I thought I might want to use, and just trimmed all of my pages. I printed all of these on parchment paper. I get my papers printed at Staples, so I don't have a printer at home. And so it does alter the color just a little bit. It makes things a tad more yellow than if you were to print them on regular copy paper. And I'm just showing you the kit here. I just really love those colors and how it's, a little bit neutral, but at the same time, those pops of pinks and reds. Yeah, I just really love it. And there's so much that you can create with this, and really, I'm only going to be creating a few pieces, but you could take it so much further and have a very generous ephemera kit based off of this little bundle, right? And by ephemera kit, I mean create your own ephemera for the happy mail you're sending. I hope that made sense. So what I'm going to be starting with is creating some sort of folder where I can place either some journaling cards or some other smaller pieces of ephemera. I'm using book pages that are pretty thick, and they they're still together. They're still one piece that folds into two. And I'm just looking for a digital print that I can use as a outside cover. I want to keep the writing of those pages on the inside, but for the outside, I'm okay kind of covering most of it. I hope you're all doing really well. I've been a little bit absent here and there, and it's nothing personal. I've just kind of struggled with being online and being present, but I do what I can, and with December Daily, that'll be fun. And it's nice because those videos, I don't have as much editing to do. I'd say the voiceover is probably the most demanding part for the videos. I don't mind the other elements about the filming the videos and recording, like editing and picking out music. That part doesn't require like as much energy from me, but then doing the voiceovers, I always put it off, and it's like the last thing I want to do. So here I'm just aging this piece of paper a little bit in the corners. I'm just following, like from the picture you can see that whether like that piece of paper or fabric or whatever it was, like you can see that it was aged. So I'm just kind of following that and trying to recreate those folds that were existent on the original. And I'm just using a little bit of inking just to make sure that I don't have any white coming out. Yeah, just to soften things up, I guess. So I really like the look of that. And this page has some beautiful aging, so you can see the stains that are on that page like originally, and I want to keep that, but I want it to feel a little bit more like a folder. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a tag to guide me to do like kind of like a tab, a little bit like a real folder would have. I mean, you don't have to use a tag, and if you have, I think there's punch holes that do this. I don't, so I'm just using this tag to guide me so that I know like my two sides are going to be the same angle and length as well, which also really helps. And I'm just using my scissors to cut off a little bit of that page. And essentially the tab is where that aging is, because I didn't want to forego the aging because I loved it so much. So here you can see what that looks like. And so I'm just using some tacky glue to glue that on there. And then I'm just gonna press it down. So whenever I do something like that I'm folding it over, I like to do one side first. For this, because my paper wasn't covering the whole page, I put the glue on like the smaller piece. That's just easier. This way you know you're not going to be putting glue where it doesn't belong. And then I'm just using a bone folder to make sure that everything is glued down really nicely. And I wrapped it around, and then the paper was still a little bit longer, so I'm just going to use that actually as a flap that I can have things that like it's a side pocket. I hope that will make sense. Everything that I'm doing today is not requiring a sewing machine. You could add sewing wherever you wish. I think I put sewing like for the first little kit I did with the La Belle Collection. But with this one, I just wanted to show you that obviously like you don't need a sewing machine to do those sorts of things. So here I'm going to start working on my closure. I really wanted to create like a little bow, like make it cute. But it took me a while to get where I wanted to get with this particular closure. So I'm going to go ahead and create my little bow. And then I'm going to use that pink ribbon to close everything up fully. but for a while it just felt a little bit bulky. But by the end of the video, you'll see I am gonna alter the way that I'm closing it a little bit, and it all will work out really nicely. So just using a brad clip to stick that onto the page. So this could have worked if my ribbon was just like thinner, but because this ribbon is so thick, it just felt too bulky, which is why eventually I'm gonna go ahead and kind of change up the way that I'm closing it. But for now, it's looking like slightly bulky, and that's okay. You know, like sometimes you've got something in your mind, like you want to make it happen a certain way, and it's not really working, and you're like almost there but not quite, but you don't really know how to fix it yet. I like to put things away, like put it to the side, continue working on something else, and then go back to it with a little bit more of a fresh eye, and that really helps me kind of figure out how to fix it and how to make it look exactly like I want. So now I'm just going to recreate this little envelope. It's going to be slightly different because I have a full page here, but I'm just going to be using this stripes, like striped paper. And it just reminds me of like candy canes, and but like really like vintage candy cane, like the Candyman. For any Gilmore Girl fans out there, it reminds me of what Taylor Dorsey wears when he has his candy shop. Like the grand opening. Yeah, that's where my mind goes with this this piece of paper. So I really like it. It's a good thing. So I'm just folding it. I'm just eyeing this, you know, so I'm kind of creating two flaps, and just trying to make it interactive and fun, so that if someone receives this in the mail, then they open it up and it's like it keeps on opening, and it's exciting, right? And just pressing everything down with my bone folder, just making sure that my edges are nice and flat. And just removing here the pieces that I don't need. I always like to fold everything and then cut out. This way, it just guides me a little bit easier. And again, I'm eyeing everything. You could absolutely use a ruler and make sure that your angles are all symmetric, but that's just not the kind of crafter I am. And here I'm just deciding what I'm going to do for that bottom flap. So with the first example, I actually had just like a very small flap, and I added another piece of paper to it to create a longer one. So I know that it's going to be different for this one, as I had like the full page. And so I'm just going to get rid of those like excess pieces from the top part. And then I'm trying to figure out how, like, because they meet but they don't touch, if that, hopefully that's clear. But I want to use them as a pocket, so obviously that doesn't work. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out like how I'm gonna make this work. So what I'm going to do first is cut them at an angle, because I want to be able to place things in the pocket and it's like easy to access them. And for that, I am using the little triangle I just cut out, because I do want those to be pretty symmetrical. And since they're so close together, then I find that it's worth it to try and make it the same. And then I'm just going to be looking for something to join the two sides together. So I printed some of the collage pages into like a tiny format. It's not like a precise thing. It's not like 4 to a page or anything like that. I just, I have no idea actually what I did. So I just made them very small, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out some of those pieces. I like to rip as much as I'm able to with my ruler, but obviously like when there's not enough of an edge, it's really hard to rip. So I'm just going ahead and kind of grabbing the different elements from that page and seeing which one will look best to join those two pieces together. So moving forward, I want to cover the inside, at least the pieces that I know are going to be shown when you open this little envelope. And I'm just using this vintage music sheet. I thought the Shepherd Boy was probably a great option. It felt very thematic. So that's what I chose to use, and I'm just using the envelope itself to guide me through where like where I want to place it on there, because I want to get the shepherd boy, like I want to get the title in there. So I just use my tacky glue to place that on there, and then I press everything down, and now I'm just going to be cutting out the excess. So I took my time and folded everything again, and I really like the way that it's starting to shape up, but it's missing a little something. So now I'm gonna be adding that image to, again, like tie those two pieces together. This way they're joined, and I don't really have to worry. But the thing that was missing is just inking my edges. I'm not heavy on my inking. I just like to kind of blend two edges together whenever I do this. Like if I'm backing two papers together, I just find that it is a lot more forgiving when you ink your edges like this. So I just went ahead and did that for all of the folds and edges. And then I'm just going to use some double-sided tape to first close the top section, like the top pocket, and then I'm gonna use some more to put the little image of Santa in his sleigh to those two pieces there. Here I'm just making sure that because the two, like I said, the two pieces kind of met but didn't join, and I was just making sure that there was not too much double-sided tape kind of peeking through so that it would ruin the little pocket, but it was all good. Flipping the envelope over, I felt like there was something missing again, so I used another one of those tiny pieces. This one is like an envelope, and I'm just using that as a decoration to that side. So finally, what's left for this piece here is to create a closure. So I'm going to do something similar. It would have been super pretty to do that little bow thing again, but I didn't want to overdo it with the bows. So I'm just kind of doing like a little bit of a fold so that my ribbon won't rip through the brad clip. But I'm just, yeah, like I'm just folding a couple times and then putting it through a brad clip and putting that through the flap there. am gonna go ahead and create the other elements off camera. I am gonna show them to you though, so it won't be very quick for you, but I felt like this video was already so long and I didn't want to, you know, show you how to create a tag, because I've done that before. And I'm like, you guys already know how to do that anyway, but I really hope that this can give you some ideas. You know, I often just feel so stuck when I come to create Happy Mail, and I want it to be really pretty, because whenever I do receive Happy Mail in the mail, I am overwhelmed by how beautiful it is, and I just have to wonder, like, how? So I felt like this was like a really great way to do that. So these are some elements I'm going to try and recreate with this other kit, and here you can see the results. So again, it's all that same Christmas themed, holiday themed theme. And so I'm just going to go through each of the little elements here that we've created. I added some ephemera to show you like what that would look like. I love that little girl so much. She's so cute. She's part of the kit. So just bits and pieces kind of slid in there. Then it just gets tied off with a little bow. Very simple. And I also try and keep in mind, like, how can the person reuse everything that I'm creating, because I know for myself I really like to reuse every parts of the Happy Mails that I that I receive. So for this one here, I did add a little bit of sewing just for that piece of fabric at the front, but it's just a simple envelope, and then I backed this like postcard with some coffee dyed paper. You know, nothing crazy, but it's all the little details that kind of make it come together. And here I used that book cover. It's like a book page, music sheet book page, and I printed that as a smaller in a smaller way, and then I made it into like a little pocket where I tuck this little tag, and then this little tag has a little pocket. I thought that was really cute. And that just goes here, and you could add something at the back to be able to journal more easily, but even then, like, you can journal on music sheets, no problem. And here I just used like a piece of that striped paper that I had left, and I just brought it together, you know, to hold a few pieces of ephemera together. So simple. And here you can see how I decided to tie in the end this little folder. I just like kind of like a gift wrapping is what came to my mind. And then I just tucked some things there. You could add like more things to the left side of the folder, of course, but for the purpose of this video I didn't. And then it just gets tied back up with a little bow. I really hope that you enjoy this video, and I will talk to you all in my next one. Thank you so much for being here today, and I wish you a great day. Bye now.